Why was he called Yishmael? Right? Why was he called Yishmael? Because at the end of time, he is going to cause a lot of sorrows for the Jewish nation, and the Jews are going to turn to Hashem and daven, and Yishma Kel, Hashem will listen. That's why that guy was called Yishmael 3,500 years ago. Right?
Okay, so you're saying that the bad people have a mission too.
They have a mission too.
With all due respect, who wants that kind of a mission?
Nobody.
Who
Right?
wants, I mean...
But they're chosen for that because of things that they will be. They have choice. They have free choice. And they don't have to succumb. Paro had free choice. Even after Hashem hardened his heart, Paro had free choice.
So I had free choice.
You have free choice.
I had also free choice not to have sinned the way I sinned?
Yeah. You had free choice to do it or not to do it. Every person has free choice. Every single person. Paro, after Hashem said, I'm going to harden his heart, the first few times, okay, Hashem let him choose. After Hashem hardened his heart, he still had free choice. Haman had free choice. Hitler had free choice. Hamas has free choice. But they were picked to be able to be the messenger of evil. Right? It's like I said, I think I said it here. Spain is now fighting in the international courts in the UN to make Israel genocide. Okay. But take a look at Spain. They're the ones who had the Spanish Inquisition. They killed hundreds of thousands of people. And now they're talking about compassion for the Palestinians.
Who are they to say such a thing?
Who are they? Right? But they have free choice. South Africa, what they did to the Schwarzer, right? But they're the ones who initiated the genocide, right? They have free choice. Everyone has free choice to do whatever they want. Everyone.
But when you say that, it boggles my mind sometimes. A person that was raised the way he was raised, grew up the way he grew up, he has free choice to keep 613 mitzvahs right now.
Yeah.
That's like saying Bilam can be Moshe in a day.
Yeah.
Bilam can
He
be
was,
Moshe.
he was the opposite of Moshe Rabbeinu. But yeah, he could have been that way.
In one day, he could just
He
keep...
could, if you do tshuva, yeah. All you got to do is tshuva.
So I can, out of my own free choice, break all my tavot. I can keep Shabbos. I can do this. I can do this. Without, I'm not saying without any help from God, but I'm just saying...
It's always with help. The
It's
Gemara
always-
says the Yetzer Hara renews itself every day against a person. Were Hashem not to help him, he would never be able to succeed against the Yetzer Hara. So Hashem always helps. Hashem is always there for us to turn to him. Always.
And I have the capability right now to stop this behavior and to be able to do what I need to do.
I do too. Yeah. We're all the same. We're all the same. You want to keep putting yourself down, you're going to feel that way. You want to start putting yourself up, you're going to see differently. Up to you. You have tremendous koiches. You're intelligent, right? You understand. You've been there. You've faced it. And you want to come here. Why do you want to come here? Because I really want the truth. I really want to do the emes. I have failings. So I'm like every other person in the pine. So what? But I can do good. I can do good. Good morning.
Good morning, good morning. Where's everyone?
I have the same question.
I think Reb Chaim went to America today, no?
I don't
I
know.
think he went to States.
He didn't say that last week. He didn't tell me anything. He asked about the Shia. I said, Mitchell, we can have one.
Okay, good.
And David Rich,
Yeah, they're. I think they were in the frat for Shavuot. Maybe they're coming a little bit later. But I'm here.
yeah. Hillel, the Gemara says, Hillel said, Imani kan hakol kan. If I'm here, everyone's here. All right, that's what every person has to think about themselves. They did it that way.
If I'm here, everything's here.
If I'm here, everyone's here. They're all here. Everything's here. Yeah.
So I have a. Are you in the? Are you
No,
started?
we were just.
I have a
saying-
question about Uman. So I have a contemplation this year. I have a suspicion the Rebbe will tell me to still go. My brother's coming in. I have a deal with my wife that I go to Uman every other year. So 1 year I'm at home, and 1 year that was the kind of. My 50th birthday is coming up. B'ezrat Hashem Gimel Tishrei. We have Monday Rosh Hashanah. So I always had in mind the last 5 years that I'll be in Uman for my 50th birthday. My brother, who's the principal of Yeshiva Flatbush in Brooklyn, he's coming in a very rare year. They're able to come in for Rosh Hashanah. So he was hoping that I was going to be home and that we would have them. And he's not going to Uman. I don't think his wife would want that. So my shaila is it okay for me to push it off a year and go for my 51st birthday, or should I just plow on forward? I got my 2 boys on board. We even are leaving after. We have a book flight for after Shabbos, so you don't have to miss that Shabbos before Rosh Hashanah also. So we'll get there mamish, I guess, the Erev Rosh Hashanah. We'll drive in from Warsaw. We had.
How you going? Through where?
Through Warsaw, and then.
And then you're taking a car from there?
Yeah. It's like 40.
Wow, it's 18 hours, some 16, 18-hour trip.
From Warsaw?
Yeah. With the border crossing.
Oh, with the border crossing.
Yeah.
How long the wait in the border crossing?
That depends on who's going across the border at the time. If there's 20 people, there's 50 people. You can't help. Right?
So it could be like a 5-hour wait there.
Unlikely, but it could be.
But it's a 14-hour. I thought it was 14 hours
Well, maybe straight driving,
straight, but with a.
but you have to cross the border.
Yeah.
I did it once.
Uh-huh.
I did it. We went through Lezhensk, through the Rebbe Melech.
Uh-huh.
We went to Lublin, and then we went to Lezhensk, and then we crossed the border.
Mm-hmm.
All right. But it's a long trip.
intense.
It's a long trip, yeah. Warsaw is like North Poland,
Yeah.
and Uman is central Ukraine. So, those are distances.
It's like distances. Yeah.
Anyway, of course, my answer is going to be go to Uman. My answer would be that even if your wife didn't agree, and this and that, how long is your brother going to be in for?
He's leaving him personally after Rosh Hashanah, but the family's staying till after the first days of Sukkot.
No, but he is coming in when?
He's coming in. Erev Rosh is coming that's Monday.
He's coming that Monday,
Monday morning.
Erev Rosh Hashanah.
Yeah.
And then he's leaving when?
He's leaving right after Rosh Hashanah. His family's staying but he's going back right after.
Why would he do something like that?
Got the big job, Yeshiva Flatbush.
Yeah, I know the place. I remember it as when I was a kid. It was there. So, it's 70 years, 80 years. I don't know how long it is, but
Got 2,500 kids. He's responsible for. So they have to. I think he has to come back for that.
Well, I can imagine. I'm surprised he's able to get away. But nothing supersedes Uman Rosh Hashanah. Right? What I might suggest is let him come to Uman straight and go back from Uman to Flanders.
that his wife would never.
It doesn't matter what his wife would or would not. It matters what's right.
Right, that is right. I agree.
Right?
Yes, sir.
Whatever is right is right.
Is there a better route than? I mean, Warsaw was the only flight that I saw that went to Poland on Sunday. On that Sunday, is there flights to Budapest too?
I have no idea.
No idea.
I have no idea. There are flights to there's flights to Kishinev probably. There's nothing to Kishinev.
To Moldova?
Yeah, Moldova or to Romania, Yas.
That's shorter.
Yas, it's shorter. It's like 7 hours, 8 hours.
Moldova for sure. Yeah, I know that.
Yeah, and Yas is also about 7, a little bit more, maybe 8 hours.
Yes.
Iasi, IASSI. It's
Where's
in Romania.
That? Oh, Romania. Yasi. I'll call the travel agent. She's got a chag today.
Come to Uman, man. Come every year. Come to Uman.
Listen, my son Tzvi is in Uman now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he went for Shavuos. He left Saturday night, right? And he got to Uman on Sunday afternoon. He went through Bucharest to Moldova, and then he took the car, and he got to Uman about 3 o'clock.
Wow.
So you can, there's ways to do it.
Right.
Question is where and how you're going to find the connections, or how you have to do it.
I have a ride. I talked to the guy who always gives me a ride. Vladi actually moved to. You know Vladi?
Vladimir?
Vladik? No. He said he can have somebody pick me up from Warsaw and drive me there. But I'm with the 2 boys. The 2 boys will be with me, and so
Yeah.
I don't know how they would.
Will the boys behave on a 14-hour trip?
Yeah, figure it out.
Right? Are we there yet? Did you ever hear that?
Oh yeah, all the time.
Are we there? Yeah. But, I have no doubts that Uman supersedes, especially your 50th birthday. It's a milestone.
Yeah.
Right? The Mishnah says a guy who's 50, ben chamishim le'etza. He's capable of giving advice. The Bartanura explains there that by the age 50, person has seen most of what life has to offer. So he's wise enough to be able to give advice to others about how to handle their lives. So 50 is a milestone.
Yeah, I've been through a lot. I said I've been through a lot.
So there you go. Right?
Yes.
You've been through a lot. I've been through a lot. We've all been through a lot. But that's it. You can. But that's for sure, in my opinion, there's no question that's the way to go.
Okay.
Micah, my opinion. Your wife may have a different opinion.
She gave
Your
me her
brother
blessing.
may have a different
She actually
opinion.
told me, I think you should go. I see you're talking about it a lot. She's like, I think you should go.
Yeah, I think so too.
And we would go to Budapest. My son said, hey, if we're driving all the way to Budapest back 14 hours, I don't want to just go back.
How old are
Maybe
your
we'll do
kids?
Shabbos in Budapest.
How old are your kids?
He's 14 and 10. Yeah.
Yeah, Shabbos in Budapest would be fine. Then you take a car from there, or a train even,
To
Vinica. A train from Budapest to Vinica.
Versailles?
To Vinica is a city not far from Uman, 2 hours from Uman.
Okay.
You have a train that goes across the border, Hungary to Ukraine. The city is called Chop.
Oh, you can take a train from...
Take a train from Budapest. If you're there for Shabbos, you can get a train maybe Sunday morning. I don't know the schedule.
Oh, no, this is after Rosh Hashanah, not before.
After Shabbos. After Shabbos, before Rosh Hashanah.
Before Rosh Hashanah, no, that I have to do.
You get to Uman, you get to Vinica at night, and then you get to Uman.
You can take a train from Uman back to Budapest.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe that's probably a better route.
Check it out. I don't know. I don't know the schedules. I once took a train from Krakow, not Krakow actually, a different city, I forgot. Przemysl, something like that, from there to Vinica. Once I did it. It wasn't bad. The Ukrainians do border control on the train.
Yeah.
So you don't have to get off.
Oh, that's great. That within itself is...
Save a lot of headache.
Yeah.
But that's already a different story. You have to see which train is better. There's a flight to Moldova, which makes it closer. Up to you.
Only thing is I don't want to get stuck. So Moldova, from what I understand, doesn't have an El Al flight. So I think that was the problem with Moldova, is they don't have a direct flight to El Al, on El Al.
They have now.
Now they do?
Because of Rosh Hashanah.
I think they do.
Oh, okay.
I think I'm scheduled to do it.
Not always, but
Okay.
Wait, maybe not. Yeah. I have my tickets already.
I think the Rav is going through Krakow.
I don't know. I'll check it. I'll check it out now.
I think that's what, I think your son told me, that they go...
There could be. Oh, I don't have it here.
what, 2 flights?
No, they're going to Krakow on Tuesday before, like almost a week before. And then,
No, I don't have
they
that.
take a train from Krakow to another...
I have it on my office email.
Yeah.
I don't have it here. Could be. I don't know if we're going by train this year. I really don't know. I know we made the arrangements. We were waiting. Trump was saying there's going to be peace with Ukraine, so that we're going to be able to fly to Kiev. So we waited till after Pesach.
Yeah.
But after Pesach, I saw nothing's happening over
It's
there.
escalating now.
No, yeah. Putin is crazy, right? And Rabbi Nachman teaches lesson 122 that Hanitzocher ne'enu sovel ha'emes. To be victorious means that I won't accept the truth. Now, Putin basically lost this war. He may win it yet, for all I know, but he lost this war. He attacked, he figured 3 days he's finished, he got the whole Ukraine, and it's 3 years now almost, and he's gone nowhere, right? So he lost. He can't bear to lose, so he has to have nitzachon, which is victory. He's working for victory. It means he will not accept the truth that he failed, right? He can't go down in history as having failed. So he's willing to sacrifice, like Hamas. Hamas now, they're losing a lot. They haven't lost yet, but they're losing a lot, but they won't give in. They won't. Why? Because I'm Hamas, I have to win. Right? And same thing with Netanyahu and the rest of the guys, and the left, they're all after Nitzachon. Everyone's after Nitzachon. And that's why the world is in such a mess. Right? Zelensky also wants. Anyway, because of what was going on there, I mean, Putin is absolutely crazy. But
I heard they bombed the whole yesterday was a big blow for the Russians. The Ukrainians bombed their whole slew of airplanes. It was a big hit.
I didn't hear that. I didn't hear anything yet, but okay. Whatever. Hashem should help that they should all die a misa mashuna. They should. I wish both of them, the Ukrainians and the Russians, total success. I wish both of them, because if you have an idea of how much Jewish blood is soaked up in the earth there, you would go bonkers with the amount of Jewish blood. It's all over Europe. I mean, the Jewish blood there. But those guys, Ukrainians and the Russians, anyway, I wish them both. But in the meantime, whatever's happening, it's all from Hashem. All from Hashem. What's going on with Hamas?
It's especially to keep us from coming to Uman, right? It's especially to keep us from coming to Uman.
Yeah. I mean, we had Kiev. What was? I would prefer that we land in Uman, so we don't have to go through the Russian countryside. Okay, all right, Uman, 3 hours from Kiev, 3 hours from Odessa, not bad. But it's not that way. Right, now you
And
got to
people
go.
are afraid to come because of the war and all this, because the Geulah would come if people would come to Uman.
Yeah. And we have to do the best we can. That's all. We have to try and get there ourselves. We have to daven for it. I've been davening every day for months already.
To get there?
To get to the Rebbe's kibbutz, Rosh Hashanah. Yeah. I mean,
Me too.
it's not something, very good. It's not something to be taken lightly.
So many people bought tickets last year and everything, trips were canceled. They didn't make it. I had a guy cry to me like a baby in the airport. I go to Uman every year. It's the one thing that gives me the energies for the whole year, and they canceled my ticket and everything. You have to merit to get there. You have to really pray for it.
Last week, there were a group of guys on a plane going to Moldova, I think it was, and one guy was smoking, and they told him to put out the cigarette, and he kept on smoking. They started removing him from the plane, and the pilot decided, I don't want to fly with people like this, so he canceled the flight. All those guys that wanted to go to Uman for Shavuos, the flight was canceled.
So the religious guy that did this?
The rest of the guys, they wanted to go to Uman.
Was shot.
Yeah, exactly. It's crazy. You never know what's going to hold you up. When they had COVID, right? So they said, the Ukrainians were saying anyone who doesn't have a vaccination is not going to be let into the Ukraine. In the meantime, they stopped everyone anyway, but I took the vaccination. I don't believe in the vaccinations. I don't believe in all but I took it. Why? I said, there are so many obstacles to get to Uman. Why do I have to have another one?
Right.
So I took the vaccination. I wasn't interested in it. I didn't care. But I took it. Whatever. You have to, minimize the amount. You never know what's going to happen.
You have to,
You could never know what goes on when you're talking about Rabbi Nachman's Rosh Hashanah. You're talking about the highest thing in the world. The Rebbe said, Gor mein Zach is Rosh Hashanah. My whole thing is Rosh Hashanah. And the Rebbe said, I know what Rosh Hashanah is, as far as heaven is concerned. And I know what it means to be able to try and mitigate the decrees. There are so many decrees that come out against Am Yisrael. So many, one after the other, right? And we do the best we can to mitigate those decrees, right? Now the decrees have to come. They have to come because there are things that were done wrong during the year, whether it's by Jews, whether it's by frum Jews, or whether it's by irreligious Jews, or whether it's by the Goyim. There are things that people do to hurt other people. And those things have to be rectified. And that's why there are decrees that are issued on Rosh Hashanah, because people did something wrong. And we have to rectify whatever it is that we can. So we go, could you really rectify anything you did wrong in your life?
Nothing.
Go back. Did you insult someone? Did you have a fight when you were a kid with someone? All these different things that happen, right? The tzaddik can. The Rebbe says, will it help all your tshuva? I can do tshuva for you. What does that mean? The Rebbe can do. It means I contribute my little bit, whatever little bit I can contribute, and the tzaddik will take that and make it into a big thing. He'll make it into a rectification. The tzaddik can do that. What could I do? Right? You insulted somebody. You hurt your wife's feelings. right? Now, whether you make up or not, you hurt her feelings. Or the kids, right? You did something wrong. So what do? The answer is you do tshuva. You hope and pray that you can rectify it, but could you really? Hurt sometimes carries on for 20, 30, 50, 80 years, right? So what can you do? What then? You go to the tzaddik is working on your behalf, and therefore he'll see that you can get a rectification. That's the value of going to Uman, Rosh Hashanah. The Rebbe said, you nip it at its source. All the decrees are given out when? On Rosh Hashanah. You come to the Rebbe on Rosh Hashanah, this is when the decree is being issued, so the Rebbe is mitigating the decree at the source.
The decree meaning, sorry, go ahead.
Please go ahead.
The decree is something like bad, or it could be something good, like when you say a decree.
There certainly could be good decrees.
Okay.
But tell me that Hamas, what's going on, is good. Or tell me that, Ukraine and Russia are fighting. But there's other places that fight. Sudan is fighting. Algeria, France, right? And Germany, and look at all the problems in the States. I think yesterday it was, or the day before, a goy in California. In Colorado.
Colorado, yeah.
A goy in Colorado.
An Egyptian.
Right? He went and he killed a Jew.
He went, the guy started putting...
He poured fire. There was a group there having a march for Israel, and he poured fire like Molotov cocktails on 8 people were hurt. Right? Go figure it out. What did these people in Colorado do? Right? It was decreed Rosh Hashanah. We don't know why. Whatever they did in their past, and it may not even have been this reincarnation, it could have been a reincarnation 300 years ago. I don't know what they did. Hashem decreed that this is what's going to happen to them. And this Egyptian was chosen, he had free choice, but he was chosen to be the messenger of evil. But there are decrees that come all the time.
Rabbi Nachman can fix everything, right? On Rosh Hashanah dafka.
Specifically because of Rosh Hashanah. Because of Rosh Hashanah. And that's the great value of coming to Rabbi Nachman Rosh Hashanah. Right? And you get the best deal you can. Right? We don't know what kind of deals are waiting for us. Ask all those guys who were captured at the Nova Festival on Simchas Torah, right? Who knows what reason, why they suffered? I don't know. I would never even deign to think I know a reason for it. I don't. And why these people and why others not? Right? There are some who survived and some not. Why? Why this one was taken hostage? Why this one was killed on the spot? Why this? Why that? I don't know. We don't know. But there are decrees that are issued Rosh Hashanah, and we have to try and mitigate it. The more people that come to Rabbi Nachman on Rosh Hashanah, the better it is for the entire world. Right?
But is it okay for me to go for personal reasons, like not for clout reasons, just for like, hey, I've got so many, like it's such as a business-wise, or lo aleinu, somebody's sick, or you're coming to just pray for that.
You come and pray for whatever you feel, whatever is on your mind. If you have a wife, you have children, if you have issues, financial.
And the Rebbe guarantees that he will advocate for you.
He will advocate for you. There's no question about it. What the final result will be, I don't know. I mean, we ask on Rosh Hashanah for life. Hashem, grant me life, right? Zochreinu l'chayim. Remember us for life. There are people that died during the year, right? Even people who went to Uman died during the year. But what do you mean? Remember me for life, right? The main life is the world to come. That's the main life. But even in this world, right, there are medications, right? We have to try and get whatever we can, the best deal. But of course, I have to go for my reason. I have my family. I have grandchildren. I have great-grandchildren. I have to daven for them too, right? Otherwise, I'm selfish. Who the heck am I? But if I daven for someone else, but if I daven, do I have issues? Of course I have issues. I have plenty of issues. You wouldn't want to hear my list. You think you got problems? You don't want to know a thing about the problems I got, right? But that's it. I go and I pray for my problems too. Why not? Why not? You're supposed to do that every day. You're supposed to do this. Daven to Hashem. You're supposed to daven to Hashem every single day. Daven. But especially Rosh Hashanah, which is the guide for the whole year. That's what Rosh Hashanah is. The guide for the whole year.
I got to Uman my first time in 2014. I started my own company, and me and my business partner were getting sued by our former employer. We had no money. I moved from Israel to Cherry Hill, New Jersey to start this company. It was, we didn't know what to do. We had like a big issue with the other company, and he was very litigious. So I called my friend Shimon Rappaport. I had no idea, I was like, I knew he was Breslov, but I said, tell me about this Uman thing. I don't know, tell me about it. So he said, listen to me. He goes, go to the kever, go to Uman, pray for what you need to pray for. Yeah. And I promise that, that
you'll be helped.
And from that point on, after I came back, it was one of the most powerful davening by the Shiner Minyan. It was very powerful, very, very moving davening. And from that year, every year, we had a big turnaround in the company. So we went from being minus hundreds of thousands of dollars to Baruch Hashem, building a company. We're able to move back to Eretz Yisrael and start our office in Jerusalem. And 7 years later, we sold our company to the company that was suing us. And it happened Motzei Rosh Hashanah, Motzei Rosh Hashanah in Uman. It was my 7th year. It was just before COVID hit, 2019. So I think it was 7 years from when I started. The company was sold Motzei Rosh Hashanah, and we had that big turnaround. So for me, Uman has a very great meaning. I know that there have been proven results for me, mamish proof. You really think it's because you went to Uman, Hashem isn't in Israel? I say no. I think Hashem is everywhere. Hashem's in Israel. Hashem could have listened to me, but I felt like I had the best attorney representing me, and he was advocating for me. And so when you have the best attorney representing you, you have somebody who's really presenting
on your
the case.
side. Yeah.
Was it okay for those people that say, hey, can't Rabbi Nachman advocate from you from Israel? What would the Rav say to that?
Okay. So for that, we have pieces in the Likutei Halachos, quite a few, that talk about the value of going to the grave of a tzaddik. It's a very interesting thought, and it pertains to us all the time. A tzaddik passes away. He did a lot of mitzvahs. He has a great reward in the world to come, right? Okay. An average person passes away. If he has mitzvahs, he gets reward in the world to come. But you only get the reward according to the mitzvahs that you did. In other words, if you did 100 mitzvahs, you get 100 rewards. Whatever, it's eternal, but it's 100. The tzaddik has always risen from level to level, which is what we can do too. Ourselves, we can always go up from level. But anyway, you don't want to, there's a pasuk in Zechariah, Yeshua was the Kohen, it's the Haftarah of Hanukkah, Shabbos Hanukkah. He says, Yeshua was the Kohen Gadol, and the angel says to him, if you do this, V'nasati l'chol malachim bein ha'oimdim ha'ela. I will give you paths to walk upon among all those who stand here. Now, who stands there in heaven? The angels. They can never go from level to level. Angels are created at a certain level, and that's it. A human can go from level to level, but while he's here on this world, after he passes away, you got X, and that's what your reward is. You want to go further? Like every person wants to go further, especially the tzaddikim, they want to go further. So what happens when you go visit the grave of a tzaddik, right? What you're doing is calling him down from up on high, where he reached a certain level, and he comes down to this world to listen to your prayer and to help advocate on your part, right? Then he goes back up. But because he had a descent, a Yerida Kodem Aliyah, he has a descent before he goes up, right? So when we go to the grave of a tzaddik, we cause the tzaddik to descend down to this world, but then he has a jumping off point where he can go to a higher level now in heaven. Okay? So what does that mean? That you went to the grave of a tzaddik, you prayed there, but now he owes you. You follow? The tzaddik now owes you because you brought him down so that he can go to a higher level.
Even though he already helped you.
If he helped you, whatever, it doesn't matter. Every time you do it, he can come down and help you some more. So the tzaddik now owes you. And that's why it's preferable to go to the grave of a tzaddik. You can go to Hebron, you can go to Meron, to Reb Shimon, you can go to the Koisel. All the Zohar says, the Medrash says, the souls of the tzaddikim are by the Koisel, right? And there's a lot of things you can do, but nobody made a promise like Rabbi Nachman. There's a number of tzaddikim that made a promise, if you come to my grave, I'll try and help you. But nobody made a promise like Rabbi Nachman that I'll take you out of Gehenna. Nobody made that promise. Only Rabbi Nachman. So, there you go. There's your answer of why he can help me in Israel. Yes, he could. He definitely could.
Everyone is connected to him.
Everyone is connected.
All the goyim, everyone. It says right there. He says that he's the root or something that all the briot and especially Am Yisrael and especially the tzaddikim.
Rebbe said, the pasuk says tzaddik yesod olam. The tzaddik is the foundation of the world. So therefore, he can help you if you're in Australia, if you're in Japan, if you're in Siberia, if you're in Cape Town or Cape of Good Hope, whatever it's called there. Yeah, Rabbi Nachman could help you there too. But there's nothing like going to his grave where now he owes you.
I told you this. I went to his grave and I sat there and I said, does Rabbi Nachman know me? Does he know who I am? You know, it's just many years I've been coming to him. So I see this Chaim around right then and there in front of me. And I open it. What does it say? When a person comes to me, I know him from the top of his head to the sock of his foot.
Yeah. Tzaddik knows. And therefore, no matter where you are, you could be helped by the tzaddik. There are people that study Rabbi Nachman now, and wherever they are, they have a connection to him. But there's nothing like being by his grave. When he can, especially Rosh Hashanah, because then he can do the most for you. He said, Rabbi Nachman said, there are tikkunim that I could make on Rosh Hashanah that even I can't do during the rest of the year. So, it pays to go.
There are people that are mekuraf to the tzaddik who aren't really mekuraf to the tzaddik. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? That aren't
Lesson
really-
129. Rabbi Nachman says the person who comes to the tzaddik, it's like you take food. If the food doesn't agree with you, you're going to vomit it out, right? He says the person goes to the tzaddik. If you want to be like the tzaddik, you want to draw yourself close to the tzaddik will swallow you. He'll take you in, and he'll make you part of him. Whichever part of him you will be, you'll be part of him. If you don't really want, then he'll spit you out. Not very comforting thought, right? So, but we want. If we didn't want, we wouldn't be here. If we didn't want, we wouldn't go to his grave. But we do. So that shows that we want. We want. Be'ez Hashem, we will be. We'll be connected to the tzaddik. We'll be there.
Is there a thing about specifically having to cry to be
Shed
motzi dima?
tears? No.
No.
No. Lesson 96 or 97 in the second part. Rabbi Nachman says a very wonderful thing, wondrous thing.
Because I felt like the first year I cried so much, and it was the natural, like crying.
Yeah. But it
Felt
doesn't
like-
always happen.
No.
Okay, so here, lesson 95. He says it's very great for a person to speak to Hashem, and especially to pour tears. Especially if you can pour tears before Hashem. But, and this is an amazing thing he says here, if a person wants to daven and speak to Hashem, and he hopes to cry, and he's not crying, right? He said that's called a machshava zara. It's called a foreign thought. Because you're interrupting the flow of your prayer by thinking, I want to cry. Now, I had once, I told the story, well, it doesn't matter, but I had once a case several times, but I wanted something, I wanted a daven, and I didn't feel it. So I said, Hashem, I want to cry, and I prayed to cry. I prayed to cry. Eventually, the tears came, and then when the tears came, I was able to pray what I wanted to pray. Right? So, I mean, don't have to cry. There are times, listen, I've been by the Tzion over 200 times. Right? There are times it flows, and there are times I'm a stone. Doesn't matter to me. I mean, I'd like to have it flow, but it doesn't matter to me. I go. My job is I go. My job is I pray. If I can flow with tears, great. If not, I have to just pray. That's it. What time is it?
5 to 30.
5 minutes,
11.
11:25.
25.
Have you heard of people that have come to Uman and said, you know, I've been going here for 10 years, I've been praying for this thing, and it hasn't happened?
Yeah. I know people. I know a guy who stopped coming because of that. Right? It's brought in Svarim. Reb Nosson talks about it a lot. But when a person prays, he's praying to Hashem, asking for something that he feels he wants. Okay? Not always what he's asking for is what's necessary for him.
Even in ruchaniyut, even in spirituality?
Even in spirituality. Therefore, the prayers that you do, does a prayer go wasted? Never. Not even one prayer ever goes wasted. But what Hashem does is He takes that prayer and applies it to the area that you need. And that's where the prayer becomes effective. I may be praying for a bicycle,
You get a car.
and I may need a car. Or I may be praying for a car, and I really need a bicycle. Hashem is going to apply the prayer.
It's like when I was praying for that lawsuit, I was praying that the guy suing us would settle with us. Settle. But it ended up being that Hashem didn't want him to settle, and instead, all the clients that we were going to give up to settle with him ended up paying for the litigation. So Hashem's like, no, I don't want him to settle. I want these guys to pay for your litigation.
We don't know. We think we know what we need.
Right.
Even in Ruchaniyot. We think we know what we need, but we don't always. We don't. We feel, makes sense to me, but I may not make it that way. But the end result is that the prayers are always heard, and the prayers are always listened to, and they will be applied to my needs the way Hashem sees right, the way He sees fit. That's what's going to happen.
And to have the belief, the emunah,
You have to
and the
believe.
bitachon, that's
I have to pray. That's
Right.
my job is to pray.
right.
Right? My job is to pray. You have to think about it. Rabbi Nachman, in his time, had a few hundred Hasidim. Right? His job was to pray and teach his Hasidim what to do. Right? But look at the outcome of those prayers today. Whereas the entire world today is interested in Rabbi Nachman. How? Why? Australia, down under, right? South Africa, South America, Guillermo. You met Guillermo, right?
I heard of him. I know. I didn't.
Right? We have a guy from La Plata, Argentina. Not even Buenos Aires, which is a nice community. La Plata, he's almost all alone out there. There's a few Jews. And, but he got into Breslov in the 1980s, and he's been coming to Uman since it opened up. And he translates every one of our books into Spanish. And there's people all across the South American continent that are turning to Breslov because of him. Right? But this started with Rabbi Nachman 200 years ago. Right? So we just got to do our job. Be ourselves and do what we can. And that way, Be'ez Hashem, it'll all work out.